Right now at 5, air quality alert. What you need to know as Canadian Fires send smoke your way.
And Toma tackling its childcare problem, how it will help area businesses.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. Right now, the state of Wisconsin is under an air quality alert.
Yeah, and the health threat is coming from out of the state. News 8 Now's Allison Fergit picks up the story from here.
The DNR is warning of potentially unhealthy air quality throughout Tuesday. We spoke to experts about how long this could last and how to stay healthy. For the last few days, states across the upper Midwest have been hit with air quality alerts. Smoke from Canadian wildfires is to blame.
Those fires continue to burn. There's dozens of them up there in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be going out anytime soon.
In the past, air quality alerts from a wildfire were usually only sent out in July or August. But for the last 3 years, they've come much earlier.
For the small sample here that we have, the trend here is, these are becoming a little more frequent here earlier in the season.
With wildfires, the DNR tracks the level of fine particulate matter in the air to decide if an alert needs to be sent out.
They're inhalable, they can get in your lungs and get in your bloodstream.
Those particles can be especially dangerous for so-called sensitive groups.
Children, the elderly, those who are pregnant, and then anyone with upper respiratory issues like asthma. And then also in those sensitive groups would be people who have to work outside.
So, how do you keep yourself safe? Experts say the best thing to do is just stay inside. But if you can't, they have a few reminders.
So limiting the exposure outside as much as possible. If you can, again, shift your time period where you are doing these things outside, that's probably going to be the best thing.
Now, you might want to wear a mask outside. Experts say an N95 will offer the best filtration. Reporting in La Crosse, Allison Fergit, News 8 Now.
Thank you, Allison. Well, it's a hazy, hot day out there.
It is, but that is also about to change. The return of rain and possible storms. Let's bring in meteorologist Nicole Skalicki with the latest. Nicole.
Yeah, today we're still dealing with a lot of that haze out there, especially in the upper air above us. We could still have some surface smoke coming in later this evening, but it's going to be temporarily pushed out as a cold front tracks in out of the west, giving us a chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we go into tomorrow. Until then, air quality alert across most of the area lasting until noon tomorrow. Could see this extended for some locations, but it's likely we'll get a bit of a break as a lot of that rain tomorrow is really going to wash the sky out, but it does look like we have more smoke coming in as we go into Wednesday, and it sure is hazy out there. Sunny skies, but not a blue sky in sight because plenty of haze is covering those pretty blue skies out there. It's hot though, 90 degrees right now in Eau Claire, nice and toasty out there. We have a pretty decent cool down coming though as we go into the rest of the week. Highs dipping down already as we get into tomorrow morning. Taking a live look at radar right now, we do have that cold front within sight just to the west and central Minnesota now. Could start to track further into our area, but as you can see, it really starts to dwindle out going into the overnight period. Maybe a couple showers here, but it's looking like a lot of our thunderstorm chances are going to hold off until we go into tomorrow afternoon. So I'll have a full look at the timing on when we can expect some thunderstorms and who is looking like they could maybe see some strong or severe thunderstorms coming up in the full forecast.
All right. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you. And a reminder, you can track weather 24/7 with the First Warn Weather app. You can find it at the App Store or Google Play. And La Crosse Public Pools open this week. Erickson, Veterans Memorial, and Northside Community open on Saturday. They'll be open through August 17th. The cost to get in is $5 per person.
Now to a News 8 follow-up. The La Crosse Board of Public Works passing a resolution to raise stormwater utility rates for the first time in 14 years. It's about a $10 a month increase for most residents. The proposal now moves to the Finance and Personnel Committee on Thursday. If it eventually passes Common Council, the new rate will start July 1st and will appear on October bills.
And a heads up for drivers, West Salem closing City Loop Drive for reconstruction. It'll last through July 7th. Drivers can detour by taking County Highway C to Highway M, then turn right and follow M to County Highway B. That leads to the Quick Trip entrance on East Jefferson Street. Dahl Automotive delivering a big check to the La Crosse YMCA today. The donation was over $36,000. It came through Subaru's Share the Love campaign. The automaker donates $250 to local charities for every new vehicle sold.
It means a lot for us. I mean, that's one of our core values at Dahl Automotive. And, you know, if we weren't giving back, it just wouldn't feel right. So, you know, we're not really, you know, in it for selling cars and pulling profit out. We're here to make a difference and to make other people's lives better.
The funds will go toward the WISE facilities and low price admission program.
The Tomah Chamber Foundation is helping bring more child care to the area. Today, donating $1.2 million to Sprouts Child Care for kitchen and safety supplies. The new facility at Bible Evangelical Free Church is expected to open in the fall and will bring 38 new child care slots to Tomah. Foundation members say investing in child care can strengthen local businesses.
It's really an economic development issue. Lack of childcare is a barrier to people entering and continuing to be stable in the workforce. If you don't have childcare for your child, you're not able to fill your shift, and it really affects every level of the economy.
The donation comes after a survey revealed Tomah could support an additional 66 childcare slots to what they currently have.
The International Owl Center in Houston has a pretty pricey plan.
Yeah, it wants $17 million for a new facility. News 8 Now's Grace Monk has the latest on how they plan to raise the money.
The International Owl Center has plans to build a new facility. In order to do that, they'll need $17.3 million. The center is currently housed in a small storefront in downtown Houston. The new facility will offer more space for visitors, owls, and programs. It will also allow them to house owls on site rather than transporting them from an off-site aviary. So far, the center has raised over $1.5 million in donations. The Owl Center's executive director hopes their status as the only owl education center in the country will help them raise the money.
Normally you know who your donor base is and you just have to go and ask everybody and whatever. For us, it's literally anybody that walks through the door any day. We get people coming from all over the country and all over the world.
The new facility will include the first ever walk-through owl aviary in the U.S. If you are interested in donating, you can visit the International Owl Center's website. We'll have that link on our website. In the newsroom, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Vernon County is upgrading its emergency backup power at 3 facilities. It's using a federal grant worth over $255,000. New generators will go in at Vernon Manor, the Erlinson building, and a shared system for the courthouse annex and Banta buildings. The current generators were installed back in 2000. The county is now seeking licensed electricians to install the new generators.
Still to come at 5, a deadly shooting at a Minnesota park. What investigators know about the attackers.
Plus, the latest on trade tensions with China as new tariffs are set to take effect. One person is dead and 5 injured after a shooting in Minneapolis. It happened last night at Boom Island Park. A large crowd of more than 100 people were gathered in the park before shots rang out. Police say there was more than one shooter involved.
This is outrageous. You know, it's more akin to a war zone, the amount of shell casings that the officers are recovering here than something that you would find in a park.
No arrests have been made in connection to the shooting.
In Colorado, charges for the flame-throwing suspect who allegedly targeted Israeli supporters.
CBS's Jason Allen has the latest from Boulder.
Authorities say the suspect in a violent attack on pro-Israel demonstrators used a makeshift flamethrower and yelled, "Free Palestine."
One person caught on fire from head to toe, and they were burning up. Their whole body was burning up, and a few others were also on fire.
45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon is accused of hurling an incendiary device into the group that came together to raise awareness for the hostages in Gaza.
People were writhing on the ground. It was It was traumatic to watch, to be honest with you.
Solomon was arrested and faces a range of charges, including one for committing a federal hate crime.
And when he was interviewed about the attack, he said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again. He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
Multiple sources tell CBS News Solomon is an Egyptian national who arrived in the U.S. in 2022 on a non-immigrant visa that later expired. Solomon reportedly told federal investigators he researched online how to make Molotov cocktails, bought the ingredients, and put them together. Authorities also say he stated he wanted to kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead. Susan Rona of the Anti-Defamation League expressed concern about a spike in anti-Semitic violence and says the problem starts with words.
Let's have awareness of the language that's being used and normalized around us that ends up with violence. And let's stop that.
The victims in the fire attack are expected to recover. Jason Allen, CBS News, Boulder, Colorado.
President Donald Trump is preparing for trade talks with China. Both the U.S. and China have accused one another of violating a deal reached in May. It comes as 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports start on Wednesday. The European Union and Canada are promising retaliatory tariffs.
If we're not strong, then that's when bad things happen. So we have to show strength. We have to have a steel industry that's ready for American defense.
Meanwhile, the president's tariffs continue to face legal challenges.
The White House says it wasn't tipped off to Ukraine's drone attack against Russia. Ukraine dubbed the attack Operation Spider's Web. 40 Russian bombers were hit. 117 drones were used. The attack coming as the push to bring Ukraine and Russia to the peace table increases.
It's very interesting that it was only an hour, and President Zelensky did say the most that will probably come out of this is a prisoner exchange swap.
The drone attack reportedly took out 34% of Russia's air missile carriers.
Sicily's Mount Etna erupting today. The volcano sending a cloud of smoke and ash miles into the air. The good news, no one was in danger. Mount Etna is Europe's most active volcano.
Well, we'll have more news ahead.
But first,
we have some showers and thunderstorms passing into the area as we head into tomorrow, some of which could be some stronger storms. I'll have all the details on who might see those coming up right after the break. Well, after some of us spent the day in the 90s, we have a little bit of a cool down coming up that looks to stay here for at least the next week, possibly a little bit longer than that. Much more mild conditions, definitely not as cool as we were by the end of last week, but a little bit more mild compared to the 90-degree heat that we saw today. In fact, tomorrow we'll actually have falling temperatures throughout the day because of that cold front coming through. A high actually being reached pretty early in the morning, seeing highs in the low 70s, but then they fall pretty steadily as we head into the afternoon, already into the 60s while we're in the evening hours. So definitely a little bit cooler than we were today, about a 30-degree difference as we go to this time tomorrow, and that is largely because of that cold front and the passing showers and thunderstorms that are coming with it. Speaking of that cold front, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather in our area. That's a level 1 out of 5. As you can see, the stronger risk is mainly off to our southeast, but because we're still in that 1 out of 5 level, we could still possibly see a couple strong, maybe severe thunderstorms as this line passes through, mainly into the afternoon hours. The good news is with the timing of the passage, a lot of that activity is already done by the evening, so it'll be moving out of the area pretty quickly. So let's take a look at it. Possibly still seeing some lighter showers passing through as we go into the very early hours tomorrow. Otherwise, the main event holding off until we get into the late morning and early afternoon. There is that cold front. So again, possibly seeing a few of those scattered showers through the morning hours, but the main event holding off until right around noon. That's when we can start to see some thunderstorms popping up mainly south of I-90. Definitely a chance to see some more general thunder for areas north of I-90 and maybe a stronger storm embedded in that, but the highest chance for that is going to mainly be to the south. That first wave of it then goes just north of I-94 pretty quickly, already by around 2 p.m., so just 2 hours later. And then as we head into the early evening, still seeing that thunderstorm chance again just south of I-90. The main risk with these storms is going to be stronger and damaging winds, maybe some small hail. Otherwise, the wind is going to be that main threat with some locally heavier rainfall under those thunderstorms. And again, the good news, a lot of it already out of our hair as we go into around 6-7 p.m. So it's moving pretty quickly out of the area. And then we will be left with some dry skies going into Tuesday night. So here's a look at the estimated rain totals. Most of the area looking to see at least 1 inch. But again, if you do end up under any of those thunderstorms, you could be seeing closer to 2 inches as we get some of those heavier rain rates under the thunderstorms. And then we do have smoke coming back into the forecast. Right now, actually, we have those southerly winds blowing up some smoke out of Iowa, but that moves out pretty quickly. We're left with a little bit of a break. There was some smoke coming in just with that cold front, but then we start to see that rain again tomorrow afternoon. That really washes a lot of it out from the surface, but it'll come in eventually, especially as we look towards Wednesday morning, where we could see some higher amounts of surface smoke returning into the area. A little break from it tomorrow, but that's coming at a cost of those showers and thunderstorms as well. And then looking ahead to the rest of the week, high temperatures staying right near average, consistently near average, maybe a few 80s popping up, but mostly staying in the mid and upper 70s, and a chance for some thunderstorms to track back in on Friday and during the weekend. So definitely something to keep an eye on, because I know the state track tournament is this weekend, so something to keep an eye on for that.
All right. It's usually blazing heat for state track or rain delaying things by several hours. So
you cannot win this time of year.
No, thank you, Nicole. Still to come, Northern Lights painting the Idaho sky.
A look at Mother Nature's light show after the break.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Idaho residents got a front row seat to a Northern Lights show.
Yeah, this video was posted to social media last night from Victor in Idaho. I don't think his name was actually Victor in Idaho. This is capturing the Aurora Borealis dancing across the sky.
Look at that. According to NOAA, there is a strong chance of another geomagnetic storm tonight, and the lights may be visible across much of the Northwest.
That may be the brightest I've ever seen of the Northern Lights
haven't
in video
seen
form.
an ounce of Northern Lights before, but this area does get them quite frequently.
Yeah, we've had a couple of nights in the last year or two that they were really bright. Like through my wife's camera, they were incredible, but not with the naked eye.
Yeah, and I don't know with this haze today. I don't know if it'd be so easy to spot.
I know. We'll have to ask Nicole during the break.
We'll have to ask Nicole. Yep. All right. She's got another look at your forecast right after this.
Tonight's forecast is going to see some decreasing temperatures through the night and into the day tomorrow. Lows in the low 70s for areas south of I-94 when you're waking up in the morning, up in the 60s for areas further north. Actually a little bit muggy in the morning too, because that cold front's going to bring in some moisture ahead, so maybe muggy and warm, but definitely not later in the day.
And buggy as well, perhaps?
Always buggy.
Always right now. Yep, get the bug spray out. Thanks for joining us at 5.